What's the movie? What's the movie? With her and Trey. What's that?
Tracy Ellis.
Trey?
No, the dark skin dude.
Neil Long?
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs.
Tay Diggs?
Yeah.
The
What's
best man.
Oh, the
best man.
Oh, best
no,
man.
No, the other. That one. And
Oh,
the
you
other
talking about when? Oh, yeah, I know.
My hormones are raging.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That is the best
That's the best
No,
man.
Please hit the third one for me, man.
But anyway, man,
Hey,
listen.
we gotta keep this moving
we
back
gotta
to
keep this
basketball.
thing
Man. We
moving.
gotta go to Cleveland right now,
My
dog.
bad.
Who wants to go to Cleveland?
What's in Cleveland? Who wants to go to Cleveland?
I got stuck on
Who
Neil Long
vacations in
for a
Cleveland?
second. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man.
Is she in
Shout out to Neil. Hey, if she is, I'm going to Cleveland.
Yes.
Shout out to Neil Long.
Hey.
I don't know.
Milf.
I'm 24 years younger. I'm 24 years younger.
Little MILF.
She ain't
Hey.
going to Cleveland.
Calm down.
Shit, I'm not going
yeah.
to Cleveland.
Anyway, hey, do we believe in Cleveland? We talked about the Lakers. We talked about the Warriors. We've talked about Memphis. We've talked about Minnesota here. And I think the Lakers are probably the team that a lot of us believe in a little more, but the Warriors is high on kids' list here. Cleveland, top team in the NBA right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dominant team in the NBA.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I think the second Cleveland comes up against the Boston Celtics, I would argue the New York Knicks are in that conversation. It's GG's for Cleveland.
Stop
Maybe even the Pacers.
Stop it.
With the
I
way
don't know
they-
about the Pacers.
The way they play.
I don't know about the Pacers.
The way they play on a
Man,
good day. the
I
Pacers
told
might
y'all
actually
about the
give them some
Pacers
fits.
last year.
Pacers barely won tonight's game without Donovan Mitchell in the game.
No,
gotta
listen.
get Cleveland
I
a little
I love the fact that we're down in Cleveland, and I get it. I think this is the second best record that Cleveland's put up in the history in the last 20 years. That's even including a LeBron-led team.
63-17, great
Yeah.
record.
The only
LeBron at 68 wins.
so 60.
year.
LeBron had 66.
Only team
his
better
best
than
year.
them in the NBA is the Thunder.
He went 66 and he went 61.
Yep.
Those are the highest ones when he was
You know,
there.
when champ-
So
I like
this
that
is
in the
so
regular
Donovan
season.
Mitchell. You want to give him the credit for it? They
I
cooking.
love Donovan Mitchell.
And so I'm gonna give you this right now. Boston, as opposed to any of these other teams that we talked about, Cleveland has beat Boston. They've beat them. They were down almost 25 in the first quarter. Came all the way back.
Definitely did.
Right. They beat them another time as well. So I think they split their season series. If you count the group
2-2.
stage, they're 2-2. In the games that they won, they did so in dramatic fashion. Like they looked like once they got rolling, they had control of that game.
But they didn't have Porzingis in a lot of those games either.
I get you, but I don't expect him to be there either because I mean he's
Porzingis
always
is
injured.
Mr.
No, but he's healthy
been
now.
back.
He's
been
healthy
backing
now.
up.
He's healthy now. If you look at Boston compared to Cleveland, I like Spider, but he chokes in the playoffs. He doesn't play up to his ability in the playoffs. So I think with Boston's acumen for winning the championship and their playoff expertise, you got to take Boston over
Hey,
Cleveland.
Drew, that's a good take, man. I like you, man.
Oh, it took this long into the show
Hey,
for you to rock with him?
No.
that was a good
Yes,
take. That was a good
yes,
take.
yes.
No, because I've been saying that about Donovan Mitchell, and Muggs always, oh, man.
I like him though. I love him.
Nah, he
love
cool. He cool. But when it gets to the playoffs, that shot selection start getting crazy. He got to
playoffs.
He got to show up.
You know who also had a
He gotta show-
pendant for not being a good player in the playoffs. It actually got worse every round, even though they made it far in the playoffs. Jason Tatum. In fact, there's several metrics that you can see his numbers got worse every
You're not
single
wrong.
round.
You're 100%
right,
right.
and that happened for
That's
2-3
true.
years
But
straight.
that-
It happened
Yeah,
last
true.
year.
It happened last year.
Right.
True, but that's why they
And
have.
That's why he doesn't.
Brown.
That's why he doesn't have a Finals MVP. As
That's
well,
why they have
right?
Jason Tatum.
Yep.
Jason Tatum is the equilibrium on that team.
Well, Jason Tatum's also the leading scorer on that team.
I'm not
He's
Jason.
also-
Jalen Brown.
Jalen
Sorry.
Brown.
I'm sorry.
Jalen
Jalen Brown is the
Okay.
equilibrium.
He
I'm sorry. I'm
balances
sorry.
it
I stand corrected.
And I
Jalen
respect
Brown
that.
is the equilibrium on that team for when Tatum takes them bad shots. Brown is the steadiness.
The point
to
I'm
help
making
win.
is we can make that argument about a lot of players, about them like not showing up in the playoffs and stuff like that. And the current champion has a history of not showing up in the playoffs and being saved by his team. It's the narrative until it's not.
Here's the problem, though. How many champions, which Jalen Brown or Donovan Mitchell is going to be the leading scorer on this team, no matter what, right? How many champions come from 44% shooters? or 33% shooters from the field
In the history?
from the
we
3-point
counting all
line.
we counting all
I wanna
coaches?
say-
Well, I'm talking in the modern era versus the mugs he got to play against.
I want to say a couple, if that.
Donovan Mitchell is not an efficient scorer. Donovan Mitchell was playing his best basketball early in the season, being very efficient. And then as the season kind of went on, he became a chucker.
He's always like that, though. If you look at it,
100%.
If you look at him like that for his whole career, he's always very efficient in the beginning of the year, and at the end of the year, he slacks off.
No, this year he was extremely efficient. I mean, he was shooting like 56% from the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, oh, Donovan Mitchell figured it out. He hasn't. He's reverted to the same guy. And the problem with Donovan Mitchell being the number one on the team, and I think that he is a extremely good player, is that Donovan Mitchell is truly the main scorer for that team. Now, you have other guys that can do it. Darius Garland can be an efficient scorer on that team. I think that he's somebody that you can look at. Darius Garland versus Jaylen Brown. That's a different conversation. I think that when you look at the matchups down low, that's probably where most of your efficiency comes from, and I would say that's where you have your best matchup. But Boston is the one team that, when going up against Cleveland, can match up versus a Jared Allen, can match up versus an Evan Mobley. That's where I think that gets tough, where they bring in a Kristaps Porzingis if healthy, because if he's not healthy, that's a completely different conversation, and I would give Cleveland the advantage there because I think Donovan Mitchell is smart enough to say, let Evan cook. I think that with an Al Horford, right, like that's where that matchup kind of makes the difference, and it does come down to efficiency in a 1-2 matchup there. Because to me, I think Cleveland's good enough to get to an ECF. I don't think Cleveland is good enough to get to a finals matchup where they're taking out the best in the Eastern Conference, unless somehow Boston basically just says we're bad at basketball.
Not if Boston hits 30.
Now, my expectation is Boston
37%.
versus Cleveland in the ECF.
No, if Boston hits 30% of their threes, then Boston wins. If they shoot to 20% when Cleveland has one of those games, Boston has shot like 20-something% from the three, then they lose. But if they shoot 30%, Boston wins every time.
That's an interesting stat.
I'm gonna say that their peak is the second round. I'm not gonna say that they have the ability to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Last 3 years,
Who did they lose
Cavaliers
to in the second round?
In the second round last year,
You got
I
Pacers?
believe it was the Lakers.
Pacers on there? No, I'm saying this
The
season.
Cavaliers.
Who do you think they lose to in the second round?
I honestly think that either the Pacers or the Bucks. More
I think
playoff
if they match up with the
experience.
Bucks, they kill the Bucks. Bucks too big.
I don't think they
No
kill them.
Dame.
But
No
it depends
Dame.
on Dame. It
No
must
Dame.
depend on Dame.
Well, Dame is out.
He's not out now, but they're not saying
He
if
may
he's going to be
come
out for the
back.
playoffs.
He may come back.
So
He's
here's-
not
Dame
coming
probably
back.
not
He
coming
got a
back.
blood
A
clot.
blood clot that's a life-threatening blood clot. He probably not
I'm
playing.
saying
He's
for
still-
fantasy
he's still
purposes,
he's
I
still
lost the
my rush.
championship because of a blood clot.
Here's the reason why I say that, though. The last 3 years, Cavaliers have been at the top of the East. They were fourth in 2022 to 2023. They were fourth last year, and they're first, obviously, this year. To me, they remind me of, what's the team that had all those-
Atlanta?
Thank you. Joe
I wouldn't say
Johnson,
that.
Josh Smith, Jamal Crawford,
Yeah.
Kirk Heinrich, Al Horford. Like, they had a squad, and they kept coming up short. They really legitimately had all the pieces. They were very good. You expected them to get to the playoffs, but for whatever reason, they never got over the hump. Kind of like how Toronto was, because they kept running into
Yeah,
Miami.
but he's a bigger star.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. They didn't have a star.
Donovan's
Donovan
a bigger
Mitchell.
star.
The Hawks didn't have a star. Your star
Yeah.
was ISO Joe, and ISO Joe was ISO Joe for a reason.
And he was old.
I'm gonna let no, he wasn't.
Was he old?
ISO
Nah,
Joe was
ISO
what,
was
7 years old.
Hey,
Them-
ISO
Hey,
Joe,
hey,
ISO
hey,
Joe
hey,
has
hey,
game.
hey,
ISO Joe
Still
was
killing
27
back
years
then.
old.
He
He
can
was
still
old.
He was
cook.
old on Brooklyn.
He lost because of his name,
killing.
ISO Joe.
That's
You
100%.
clear out, and he's the only.
Yeah, I'm gonna
that can
get out
play
your
himself.
way. You go ISO Joe.
Him
Yeah.
was more like
Your
a-
number 2 was Josh Smith.
Yeah, nah.
And he couldn't hit three.
Right, you got Josh
Jamal
Smith, you got
Crawford.
Jeff Teague, you got Jay Crow.
Yeah.
Jay
the
Crow though
bench.
is coming up. No, is that Jay Crow? Or is that
He was
Lou
off the
Will?
bench. He was off
That
the
might
bench.
be Lou Will though.
No, that might be.
That
Lou.
top
No,
team,
Lou-
that
Lou-
top
Lou-
team in the
Lou-
East.
Lou Will was coming off the bench, but Drake
No,
Cotto.
no, no, no.
I don't
He
think
was
Jay
starting.
Crow was
He
on
had
that
a
team. I think
squad.
Jay
No,
Crow was
Jamal
in.
Crawford was on that team because Derek had 44 that game when Jamal was sticking him.
No. It was J. Crow because this was what 20.
Whenever Derrick Rose and them killed them in the playoffs, that's why
Atlanta had a few years
Yeah.
where they was good. A few years where they
Yeah, but they only
made
had
it.
1 year where they was the first team in the West.
No, I'm
Big
talking
East
it's not in the West, but they kept coming up against Miami
Miami.
and Cleveland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So they kept coming up short. So that's my point. Is I think that the peak of this team is second round, maybe the finals, but or rather the Eastern Conference Finals. But New York and Boston, to me, are better teams.
So this is the team: 2014, 2015 Atlanta Hawks. You had Kent Bazemore, who I forgot about.
Ooh,
Kent
he
was nice.
He was a good defensive
Kent
player.
had
Kent
some
looked
good
like
years.
Chance the
like it.
Rapper.
2014,
I like
Jay
his
Crow was
defense.
on LA.
I like his defense.
2014, Jamal Crawford is not on that team.
He's on LA.
Jeff Teague is on
I'm
that
talking
team.
about
Thabo
that. I'm talking about earlier
Cephalon.
than
This
that.
is the
Talking
best
about
team.
09
You talk about
He's talking
09,
about
09
and 10.
Tabo was good defensive. on the wing, too.
Tabo was on that team. Mike Scott is on that team. Dennis Schroeder is on that team. Mike Muscala is on that team. Muscala was getting good minutes. Paul Millsap is on that team.
Ooh,
Kyle
he was solid,
Korver
bro. He was
is
solid.
on that team. Al Horford is on that
that's
team.
true.
Damari
Mil-
Carroll is on that
Millsap was
team.
almost a double-double guy that
That's the
year.
All-Star team.
That's the All-Star team, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. They was
Yeah.
number one in the Eastern Conference. And who's the star I just named?
Nobody.
I thought so.
Horford.
No, they were the new
ISO Joe ain't even on that team.
They were they were the new addition.
ISO Joe's not even on that
No, they
team.
weren't. They were.
Well, I was
the,
referring to the Atlanta Hawks of that year.
He's talking
Of
about-
those years.
no,
09.
they
Saying
were
the
the
little
Pistons.
internet could.
09
They
and
were
10
they were the
made
new
the
Oh,
addition.
so you saying they
Pistons.
cheeks?
No,
No,
they
Atlanta
they
was
were
known for getting to the playoffs, but they also were known for exiting very shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
The
They
Joe
always had a really good
Johnson.
Why,
team.
why
They
would
were
Cleveland
mid.
be getting
They were
better?
So
They were
Lou
like
Will,
definition
the
of basketball
last
purgatory for like a while.
The last Joe Johnson team, he ain't even on this team. God dang, it's been that long.
Al
We're
Horford's
old.
played for 40 years. G.
Bro, no, not Al Horford. I'm talking
No, I mean,
about
he
Joe
was on that
Johnson.
team.
He,
The one I'm
he
talking
stopped
about.
playing in 2011.
Joe played a
2012.
long time.
2011,
Because you
2012.
remember he came in with Phoenix.
Who's that?
Joe Johnson.
Oh,
He
yeah.
came in with
Johnson.
Phoenix.
I thought Joe came in with Boston.
So
No,
09.
he
So
was
you,
Phoenix.
so the team you were talking about was Facts, but that team was not good. They were good. I shouldn't say that. They
East
were
was weak.
they were a 53-win team,
The
but
East was weak.
the Bulls were clapping it.
The East was weak. The East was very top.
Joe Johnson is on that team. Al Horford is on that team. Jay Crow is on that team. Mike Bibby is still on that team. He's 100.
That's the
Mike
one.
Bibby.
He was ahead of 11 years
Kirk on that team
already.
too?
Mario West is on that team. Jeff Teague is on that team. No Kirk Heinrich.
No Kirk? Okay.
Kirk was there earlier, but by then he might have been back with the Bulls.
Okay.
Remember, he left and came back, and then we went on our kind of run. But yeah, listen, that was the team coached by Mike Woodson. If that's who you think the Cleveland Cavaliers are, they're not going to win.
Atlanta didn't have the same defensive pedigree that they
So-
have now because this Cleveland Cavalier team is actually one of the best in the
Yeah,
league.
there's
So
not.
defense.
That's not a great
So,
defense.
Yeah.
basically, you don't think they're at least an Eastern Conference contender?
I think.
So they're a second round.
I
team.
would say
It
no.
depends on who they play in the second round.
I would say they're a
So
contender. JC doesn't. JC thinks they're going out.
So I'm just saying.
Second round.
JC
so you don't
thinks
think
they're a
get
second
past
round
the
exit
Pacers or
versus the Bucks and the Pacers. I would argue that they probably could beat both of them full strength. Donovan Mitchell is not playing right now because it's the end of the season. I need Donovan Mitchell ready.
Yeah.
But I think when you start to get in, I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I think it would probably be an ECF matchup if Detroit got there. If they matched up with Detroit, Detroit would beat Cleveland.
Ooh, that's
Nah,
that's
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 If
that's
they
a
matched
strong
up,
take.
if they
That's
matched
a
up,
strong
if they
take.
matched,
That's a
if
strong
they
take.
matched
I'll
up
let
with
you have that
Detroit,
one.
That's
You
a
stand on the
strong
island
take,
right
Pat.
there.
they matched
Pat,
up.
Pat, I want you to think about that.
Hey,
That's a strong
hey,
take.
And y'all know
Hold on.
I hate Detroit. I hate everything
Jalen
about
Duran.
Detroit.
Pat, I want you to think
it's
about that for a second.
municipality.
I want you to think
think
about
it's
that
not
for a
real
second.
city. I think that they have terrible teams. I think that they're a joke of a city. I can't stand anything about Detroit. The one
Whoa.
thing that Detroit has
Whoa.
that Cleveland does not have is that extra bit of grit and that extra bit of willingness to get dirty.
Bro, that dude
Nah.
just fought somebody. Detroit just fought somebody.
no,
What do you
no.
mean they don't have no grit?
I
No,
see-
I'm saying
hey,
Detroit
Minnesota.
does
Oh,
over Cleveland.
okay.
I'm saying that I
That-
believe
he's a
that
thug.
Detroit. First off, I think that the Kay Cunningham playoffs is about to be crazy because he's a ridiculous.
I thought he was a bust for a
Sir.
little bit.
Sir.
I honestly, I thought he was
You
a
were
bust for a
better
little
off saying Orlando.
No,
bit.
not
You
No,
were better
Suggs
off
is
saying
hurt.
Orlando.
Suggs is hurt.
You're
Suggs
tweaking.
is hurt.
They,
and the
they
other
don't have a
Wagner's
team
hurt.
that's healthy enough to
Suggs-
even match up.
Suggs and the other Wagner's hurt, so you can't count Orlando.
They don't even have a
until
team
next
that's
year.
healthy enough to
No,
match
the
up.
reason- Go ahead.
Nah, yeah, I was gonna say this. The reason why I don't think that's crazy is because One.
Detroit is not crazy.
No. What Pat just said is not crazy. You got a Sword Thompson. We just talked about the Thompson
The
twins.
defense of a
That-
Sword Thompson
that-
is going to destroy the Cavs.
That's one. They don't have anybody on the team. Realistically, nobody's gonna be. K's gonna get what he wants to get, and
Yeah, who's stopping Cade?
the-
That boy
Who's
Hunter.
stopping Cade?
That boy Hunter. That boy Hunter they got from Atlanta got a
let's
3-and-D.
not- let's not-
DeAndre Hunter is stopping Cade Cunningham.
He's
Isaac
a good 3-and-D guy.
Hold on,
He's a good 3-and-D guy.
Hold on.
He's a good 3-and-D.
Hold on. Malik Beasley's having a career year from 3. So that's another thing that you got to
Okay.
take into
All right.
account. Tobias Harris is actually
Tobias Harris over me.
their vet presence. They got some guys, and if Isaiah Stewart gets in Evan Mobley or Jared Allen's head, it's over.
And I'm be real with you.
Them dudes want to fight.
And I'm be real with you.
like
Okay, let me.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Listen.
Yeah,
Okay, none of them bigs match up with Jalen Duren.
And then and he's having a career.
Y'all not watching. Jalen Duren different.
Y'all not watching.
I ain't
Jalen
gonna lie
Duren
to
a
you.
20
He-
and
he-
15
he-
level
he-
player.
I've
He
seen
just had a perfect game from the field tonight.
That don't mean nothing.
Tonight
What that mean? That don't
over
mean
the Knicks.
you crowded him the MVP.
He
Jalen Duren.
You want to
Duren
crown
is
him?
hooping.
Then crown him, Ringo.
Then I'm gonna
Crown
crown
him then. Hey, what they say? We knew what they were.
They are who we thought they were.
There you go.
Like,
And we let them off the hook.
like nah, dude, they coming in to fight, bro. If that's
Hold
that's
on. What did Jalen Duren go for tonight? Jalen Duren was 9 for 9 from the field. Where his points at? Hold on.
He
Jalen
hit no
Duren.
threes, so it was 18.
18 and 13.
Yeah, 18.
Jalen Duren had 18 and 13 with hold on, I'm looking for the block. One block. Okay. He put up Vooch numbers. That's not that.
The crazy thing is,
Good job.
This particular
it's
team.
not crazy.
She want a good job.
The crazy thing about
Put
this
up Vooch
team
numbers.
is 1, young, 2, still very emotionally driven, right? 3, like I know we haven't done this all day, but you go by the season series, the games that they've won, their best players were Tim Hardaway Jr., who's one of the most inconsistent shooters that we've seen. That man is so up and down. So guess what? If you want to hit your wagon in that one, have at it, sir.
The games that they've won,
bet
what?
you a stake. The last time they matched up, the Cavs and the Pistons,
Detroit.
Detroit won. They won by 10. Tim Hardaway Jr. scored 33 points.
That's cool.
Okay.
How much did Cade have?
Kate wasn't there.
Oh, so they beat him without Cade Cunningham.
Kate wasn't there.
So they beat him without Cade
This is what
Cunningham.
we're saying.
So your argument is that the Cavs are going to dominate the Pistons without Cade Cunningham,
How
and they
many
couldn't
times
beat him.
do you think the Detroit Pistons are going to have 7
I'm
people
just-
in double
I-
digits
I-
with Tim
I-
Hardaway Jr. scoring
Listen.
32 points?
I don't know, but I'll tell you this.
I tell you what.
I know one
How many
thing.
times has
The
he scored 32
the
points
Cavs couldn't
with Cade
beat
there?
the Cavs couldn't beat the Nets. Or I'm sorry, the Pacers without Donovan Mitchell.
They lost by 2.
Hey, that's great. How much did the Cavs lose by that night versus the
Oh, they lost by 10.
the Cade
They lost.
Cunningham Pistons?
They
Cade
lost.
Cunningham-less Pistons. By the way, it's hurting me to hype these mugs up. I'm just telling you, the Pistons to me are a more realistic team than the Cavaliers because
Nah.
at every step on the court, this Pistons team is run by defense and efficiency.
Let me ask you a question.
The Cavaliers have a lot of defense. The Cavaliers do not have a lot of efficiency.
Let me ask you a question. Who is shooting the 3 on the Pistons?
Malik Beasley.
Malik Beasley.
You need more than one person to shoot the 3s to win.
Okay.
You
Hey.
do. You need more than one person. You need more than one person to shoot the 3 to win with that kind of tightly contested team that matches up. You need more than one person.
Tim Hardaway is a three-point shooter. Cade Cunningham
He is
can knock down the
inconsistent.
three.
He's
Dennis
inconsistent.
Dennis Schroeder is
Cade
now
Cunningham.
on that team who
He's
can knock
inconsistent
down the
too.
three.
He's inconsistent.
can-
all those guys are
anybody can be
inconsistent.
We can
They
shoot down every
No,
player that I
no,
give you, but and
no,
yet
no.
they have
They're-
44
no,
wins
no,
this
they're more-
season.
no, that's right. That's good. But Cleveland has more consistent players than Detroit. Detroit has came a long way. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they have enough consistency to beat Cleveland.
They don't. And they're not a better defensive team.
Drew's-
They're on the rise, though.
Drew's
Don't get me
believing in
wrong.
them. Jordan's not.
No.
Oh, I believe in Cleveland. The only team I think that can beat.
Cleveland. I thought you were talking about Detroit. No, I don't believe in
I
Cleveland.
believe in Cleveland to an extent, but not